Hey, what is going on today, fellow troopers? Today we're going to be breaking down the latest episode here on Larry the Stormtrooper. As you know, here on this channel, we like to put little hidden secrets or little hidden gems throughout our episodes. And maybe these are some things that you noticed, maybe these are some things that you missed. But today we're basically going to be breaking it down and going over that. Now, to start off, I'd like to make just a little quick note of what this episode was about. With past episodes here on this channel, it's basically to show that there's more to the Death Star than just a terrifying weapon. As we know, of course, through Star Wars, but there's more. You know, it's the size of a small moon, so there's bound to be more. And so that was been kind of fun to actually bring out some of these areas. We know we've seen a sandwich shop, we've seen a pizza joints, we've also seen the bathrooms in some weird ways. So, you know, there's more to the Death Star than just this big laser beam. And so that's what really this channel is about, is to really go into the life of a Stormtrooper, obviously, and we see it through the eyes of Larry. Now, of course, this episode is to kind of dive more into that. So the scene takes place probably, you know, a restaurant, more bar area, a place where to get some drinks and kind of, you know, hang out, you know, after that long day of being a Stormtrooper. To start off with the first hidden gem here, actually General Grievous does make an appearance here in this episode. He's on the far left corner. It's very quick, it's very subtle. Maybe you caught it, maybe you didn't, because we have a few characters in the background that are kind of moving around, so you may have seen him, but he does make a small little appearance. General Grievous has made a few appearances throughout some episodes, so if you watch them, and especially watch all the way through, sometimes he makes an appearance more towards the end, but he does make an appearance in this one as well. Moving on to our next hidden secrets, as we see here is the new character being added. It's actually a protocol droid on the Death Star, and Larry refers to him as
thanks, CV-19.
Now, as you probably guessed, these letters and numbers do have a reference to something, because normally a protocol droid would not have these numbers and letters in that particular order, but CV-19 is actually basically who plays the character, who was actually my brother. He actually made an appearance here in this episode, and those are his initials, CV, and then his age, 19. So he had a brief part on this episode, which he did a really good job, and I actually think it turned out really well. And CV-19 will probably definitely be in some future episodes, making little small appearances here and there to basically help Larry out. Now moving on, as you can see in the background, now this one's a little bit more obvious, but you can see IG-11 makes a little appearance in here, walking through the background, and he's made a couple appearances here on this channel.
Don't worry, I am a nurse droid.
Not in that way!
And we're most likely going to see him some more as well, so he just made a little small appearance. Now that one, of course, not as big of a secret, a little bit more obvious, but moving on to the next part is, of course, the blue milk. Now, blue milk has been a common joke, or basically a common beverage that we've seen in Star Wars. You know, it made its first appearance in the very first movie, A New Hope, with Luke having that of his beverage, and then also it even made a small appearance in Rogue One, which is definitely really cool to see that. So I thought to myself, you know, if he's going to be drinking something, let's make it something iconic, something that, you know, everybody would know what it is right away, even just by looking at it. But of course, we get that confirmation at the very beginning. We don't know exactly what he's drinking, we just know it's a blue beverage, but then later on we learn through May that it actually is the blue milk.
Locally blended blue milk.
Diet locally blended blue milk?
And just to make it a little bit more funny, we decided to call it diet blue milk. So I don't know where you'd get that, but it was just something kind of funny to show. And also, I saw this in the comments. As you can see, at some point during the episode, just for a split second, the blue milk right next to Larry actually just disappears for absolutely no reason at all. And I'm sure many of you may be wondering, what's that for? Does it mean anything? And actually, that is actually 100% an editing mistake. You know, here, of course, when we get done making episode, we watch it several times, make sure everything's good, make sure everything's smooth, and somehow this one just totally slipped through the fingers and we just totally missed it. And so I mean, honestly, right after it got uploaded, I noticed it like right away, like basically right after it was officially up and, you know, everybody can view it. I caught it right away. Of course, I'm irritated with myself. I was like, how did I miss that? But you know, it's kind of for the good, honestly. It's a nice little joke or a little mistake that we can look back on and be like, oh, you remember when the blue milk disappeared for absolutely no reason? So, and of course, maybe we can make fun of that, you know, down the line in another video. So that was something that was a complete mistake. It was not on purpose. So that was definitely a mistake on our part, but it was definitely kind of a funny mistake. So we can always look back at that and laugh at it. Now, moving on to the next part. Now, obviously, this is kind of showing that time has passed. It's probably been at least maybe an hour. You know, Larry and May have had a couple drinks and are exchanging stories. And we move into the middle, obviously, of a story that Larry's talking about. And some of you may remember what he's actually talking about. This is actually a reference to another video. If you've been on this channel for a long time, you may have known what he was actually talking about. He's talking about a story when an Ewok was attacking somebody they knew.
All of a sudden, He is just surrounded by Ewoks, right? And then they all just attack him at the same time.
And then he had to help take them all off, and then basically he became basically Prince of the Tribe. Now, everything in that story was not in the episode, but there actually is an episode from over a year ago where there is a fellow trooper of Larry's that is actually being attacked by Ewoks, and I'll show that clip right here.
It's just right there. Oh no. Ah! Not the Ewoks! Not the Ewoks! Not the Ewoks! Oh my god, Scout, what's going on?
So in that clip, the scout trooper's being attacked by Ewoks, and Larry's freaking out, doesn't know what to do, and basically that's where the episode ends right there. But we hear the rest of the story from Larry later on as he's telling it to May. Now, maybe in the future we might actually show the rest of that basically scene, and again, if you've been on this channel long enough, that might have been something that you caught. Now moving on to one of the bigger secrets that, again, it goes by pretty fast. Maybe you kind of caught it, maybe you didn't. Larry asks for May's name, and she refers to her name as
MY-25-1977.
That is her Stormtrooper number, but that's not her real name. But basically what that number is MY stands for May, and as she later goes by, she says that's who her friends call her by.
But my friends call me May.
So we established that the first part is May, but then the numbers go by 25-1977, and that actually refers to May 25th, 1977, which is when Star Wars was first released. So another cool little hidden secret that basically her Stormtrooper number is a reference to when the first Star Wars was ever released, and that, of course, Larry's not going to call her that all the time by her Stormtrooper number, so she is just going to tell him to call her May. Now moving on to the last little hidden secret here, as we can see as Larry lifts up his cup, he sees that May has left her number there, and these two different numbers actually symbolize something. The very first one is actually referring to the number that Luke refers to when they're basically going through the Death Star and they're moving Chewbacca around.
Prisoner transfer from cell block 1138.
And then the second number is actually the cell number that Leia is actually being kept in, where Luke has to go and save her.
Princess of yours is in. Here it is. 2187. You go and get her.
And of course, for all you big Star Wars fans, you probably know that that number is not the only time it's been used. It was actually used in the new Star Wars movies. That's actually referring to Finn's, basically his Stormtrooper number.
Hey, what's your name? FN2187.
So it's definitely a pretty significant number. It's been used a couple different times through Star Wars, so I thought, you know what, why don't we use it as well as basically referring to basically her number as far as when Larry's going to call her. And actually one little extra hidden bonus secret here, it's actually not a reference to Star Wars, but I thought, you know, it's kind of a cool way that May gave her number to Larry, that she left it on a napkin before he even asked for it, and after he notices it, he looks up and she's all of a sudden gone. And so I thought that would be really cool. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you may have recognized this one as well, that Larry refers to her as a clever girl.
Clever girl.
Now, of course, that's not towards Star Wars, but that's actually towards the movie Jurassic Park.
Clever girl.
So again, I thought it was really cool. Again, it's not exactly a Star Wars reference, but I figured it kind of fit. It kind of fit the scene. You know, she was being kind of cool, kind of sly before, you know, Larry even asked for her number. Now, that was the last little reference towards the latest episode here on Larry the Stormtrooper. Now, if this is something that you would like to see more of here on this channel, you know, breakdown videos, kind of showing off those secrets or little hidden gems, let me know in the comments, because this would definitely be a fun segment to have on the channel to kind of break it down and go over every little piece that is shown throughout the episodes. Again, this may be some stuff that you see in episode, and there's probably some stuff that maybe you didn't catch. So if this is something that you'd like to see more of in the future, let me know in the comments, because this would definitely be a fun segment to have if you guys are enjoying it. Go ahead, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you're not yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and I will see you next time, fellow troopers.